Well, because I came here in 1960 with my parents from Holland, and we were like, first we came, like we were in Toronto, and then we moved to Winnipeg. Lived in Winnipeg for about a year and a half, and we were forced into school because we were about 6 or 7 years old at the time. My three other sisters were with me, and because I'm the oldest, and part of my life just went down the toilet after that because I couldn't speak English, and I was forced into school, and it was hard, when you couldn't speak English and you started, failing and failing. I lived in the school system for about a year, and kept me in grade 1 for about maybe a year and a half. Didn't like that. They tried to put me into grade 2. Still couldn't speak English properly. So by the time I was about 12, I got fed up with school, and I started sneaking out of school, stuff like that. My parents used to get mad at me for doing that. They used to run away. They kept bringing me back. But around 15, between 12 and 15, I started running around all over Canada, living on the street and stuff like that, and I got frustrated. I tried to learn things on the street. I kind of got along, but fell into a couple of gutters, and slept on mostly back lanes and cardboard boxes and stuff. And I was only a kid at the time, and nobody would help me, because I couldn't speak English properly. But I could say a few words, and it got okay. Then I started getting into a little bit of trouble with drugs and stuff, and it just got worse and worse until I was about between 15, 16, 17, 18. I got into heavier drugs. Mostly, it wasn't really heavy drugs like marijuana and stuff like that. Some minor drugs like pills and stuff, but just that I kept going on with that for a while, and then I fell into a group with a biker group, and I started hanging around with them and kind of got involved with them a little bit here. Did some hard crime with them, and it just got worse and worse after that, and then it was the gang called Satan's Choice. I don't know if you've ever heard of those guys in Toronto. So it came to the point that I thought I was going to get, in trouble. And I think it was in my 20s when I was off. I was stealing big things and stuff like that. And I got fed up with it and just kept doing the stupidest things. I just landed up in jail. And spent 14 years of my life in jail, back and forth. The longest term was 4 years in the Kingston Penitentiary. And I was there for 4 years. And then after that, I started doing smaller crimes. And I think it was in my early 30s when I started getting a little bit better. I learned how to read more. I learned how to read the street signs. I learned how to read everything on the street. My English got better, and everything else got better, and I think it was in my 40s or 50s, I started smartening up. And I said, I got to get out of this lifestyle, And I went to a couple of programs, and, kind of helped out. I was, volunteering for a few places here and there in Toronto, and started my own little group with different people, and I started telling people on the streets, it's not a life for a person to live on the street, and I just couldn't handle it. So I started doing it myself, like talking to people on the street, and finally found a place to live my own, and I just kind of fell together, but most of my life was just nothing but crap. And then started learning more and more, and then I got into came back to Winnipeg, and my life started changing. Like I volunteered for a church in the North End called Red River Christian Fellowship. I worked there from the year 2000 to the year 2003, and then everything started going better. But then the minister got into a little bit of problems. He had some problems, so that it sort of fell down the toilet after that. And I got laid off and stuff, and then everything started changing again. Like, I started getting into not drugs or anything, but I started smoking marijuana. Started drinking a little bit, and I said, "No, this is not me anymore. Not me." And then I got into another program where everything did change. And I said, they gave me what I needed, the Lord and everything else. And I really don't believe in the Lord as much, but I know He's there. I'm not a big Christian or anything like that, but it just hurts to see people on the street for me now. I feel that I can help them somehow. I volunteer on Wednesdays here, and I kind of like it, and I don't know, I'd like to have a good job, but who's going to hire a 63-year-old guy now, and it's hard, and I'm living in poverty myself the way it is, I'm not really living on the street or anything, I just know it's has to change somewhere.